Yo YouTube! Welcome back to my world. This is a video for Monday the 4th of December, which was yesterday. I want to, before I go into yesterday, talk about last week briefly. If you saw my last video, you'll know that last week I was having my van serviced on Tuesday. It came out in the end, including VAT, at £385 for replacement oils, replacement filters, and replacement brake pads on the front wheels. And Wednesday was about having a day off because of my anniversary. And on Wednesday, I had a call offering me a job for the following day, which was picking up in the afternoon on Thursday and dropping off in central London at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So I picked that up and decided that I wouldn't do any other work on Thursday. But I did make a mistake, and that mistake was I didn't have a nap at any point during Thursday. I just carried on with my day as though it was a normal day off. So I picked up the load at 3 o'clock and then went back home, watched some TV, just didn't do very much. And what I should have done is had a nap at some point in the afternoon and early evening. Because I left the house at 10:30 to get down to London, and by 12:30 I was really tired. In the end, I got it offloaded quite quickly. The instructions I was given to find the location were really clear, and the security guard wasn't being a pain. He was being quite friendly and useful. So I got on site quite quickly. And then I went back home. On the way home, I got to about 45 minutes from home. I had to stop for a bit and have a little nap in the van. I was getting too tired to carry on. So I was in the van, in the cab for about an hour or so, having a little nap, and then went home. Got home at about 20 past 6 and went straight to bed. On the Friday, I woke up at 11 and sort of thought about doing a work, and the job came up which was local, which was picking up in Peterborough and doing a few or 3 drop-offs at residential addresses. So I did that job, but it would have gone smoothly except for one problem. On the Thursday, at some point, I dropped my spare phone, and so it wasn't working on the Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, or Friday, 8 a.m. Friday. And that was fine because I had my main phone, but about after my first drop off, I couldn't update anything on the CX system, and I worked out that the 3 mobile network had gone down for a couple of hours. So I didn't have my spare phone, which is a different network, available, and I didn't have my main phone, so I was without a phone, and I couldn't do very much into the CX or even ringing customers. So I had to wait until I got home before I could upload the CX system, and one of the customers wasn't at home, and I had a phone number for them, but I couldn't obviously ring them. So the way that I got around that one was to go to their neighbour and ask their neighbour to call them for me, which they were happy to do. And then they signed for the delivery as they were told to do by the customer. So luckily, I was able to get around not having a phone for that afternoon. And then I went home. And also on Friday, I did get a job. I was looking for jobs for Monday, and I got a job going from Peterborough in the morning to Wrexham, 9 o'clock pickup to Wrexham. So this brings me to Monday morning. So I left the house just before 8:30 and drove the 20 dead miles or so to pick up my load, which was 2 pallets from Peterborough. The job was for a medium wheelbase van, and it was 150 miles, 150 miles. I bid on the Friday, £150, 150. So I had bid effectively £1 a mile for loaded mile. I probably went a bit lower than I would have liked to because I had bid on other jobs for Monday morning. I wasn't getting anything. So I liked the fact that it was quite a long job. £150 is like half a day's pay for me. Although Wrexham wasn't going to be necessarily a great place, I thought it was near the northwest, possibly not too far from Birmingham, to get a job back. So I was quite pleased to have that job because it was getting tough to find jobs on Friday. So I arrived at 9 to pick up that load. I was loaded off site at 20 past 9, and then I made my way to Wrexham. I avoided the M6 yesterday, and I went sort of up the A1M and then across the A52, and then pretty much just kept going west until I got to Wrexham. And I arrived, I was offloaded at 10 past 1. So far, half a day done, half a day's pay. And I was then trying to find jobs. And I was sort of 5 miles east of Wrexham itself. I wasn't actually in the town centre. And when I dropped off my load, I had a really bad phone signal. So I was trying to decide what to do. Should I go into Wrexham, which is further away from home, or should I head east until I got a phone signal? So I ended up just driving till I got to a lay-by not far from where I'd been dropped off. Got a phone signal, updated the CX system, and looked for jobs. And I noticed that there were a couple of jobs coming out of Telford, which was about half an hour from where I was. There were a couple of jobs from Runcorn, which was about 45, 50 minutes from where I was. And I thought I can either head to the northwest or head to Birmingham. And I felt that the safer bet, because I didn't want to tramp out, I was trying to get home that night, was to probably head towards Telford. So I started driving, bidding on jobs, heading towards Telford. I was running low on fuel, needed the toilet, so I stopped at Market Drayton and went to Morrison's there and did those two things. I wasn't getting any luck with my bids. I did stop when there was a bid from Wrexham. I was still sort of, although it's behind me, it was only 20 minutes behind me, so I stopped, put a bid on that job. And I think I remember correctly, that was from Wrexham to Sheffield. So like, it would be a really good job. And I was putting on my bids about £1 a mile plus a tenner, so to get to Wrexham and to get to other places. And I wasn't getting anything. It was getting quite frustrating. So I was looking at the map and I thought, where could I head to? So I found a place called Newton, which was sort of equidistant from Telford and from Stafford, which I thought would be good places to get jobs from. So I was heading towards Newton, and time was moving on. I was sort of stopping here and there every so often to do bids, and the day was turning out to be quite frustrating because I'd done one job, and by sort of quarter past 1ish, I'd been finished. It was now coming up to sort of 3 o'clock, and I hadn't got a second job. So I stayed at Newton for a bit, stayed in a lay-by, been on some jobs, and a job came up from Telford going to Stafford, which wasn't really, no, to Stoke, sorry, ST10, which really wasn't what I wanted to do. But it was some work. I put £50 on for a 37-mile journey, and it's for a small van. So when I got that job, when it came through on the CX, I realised that it was going to a place that was going to have to wait, possibly have to wait, which I was quite disappointed about at first. But then I thought, it's a job. The alternative was to go home completely empty. £50 is better than nothing. So I I'm quite happy for it in the end. So I made my way towards Telford, got to the pickup point about 4 o'clock, but went to the back of the property, which was an industrial estate, and it was um, closed, or seemed to be closed. And so I went around the front, and I couldn't get into the car park because the barrier was it was too low. So I had to walk to reception. There was nobody in reception. I walked through the building to the back. There's a big warehouse bit at the back, and I called out, and eventually someone came to me. I told him I was there. He went to get somebody else, who then went off somewhere else and brought back to me a smallish package. So by the time I got off site, it was 4:20, and my journey to Stoke was going to be an hour and 10 minutes. So I was hopeful, because I had a very light item, I might be able to just drop it off rather than have to get in the queue at ST10, because it could be a long wait otherwise. So I made my way, got to the place and went to their new porter cabin, and luckily the lady said that if I just waited by the drop boxes, she would come out, sign my paperwork, and then I could leave it on site because it was less than 20 kilograms. So I was off that site by 10 to 6, 5:50, which was way better than it could have been. I was looking for jobs going eastwards from Stoke, but there was nothing I could get. So I ended up just dead miling it back 90 miles home, just so I could get home, sit in my own bed. I was looking for jobs for the following day. There was nothing coming up. So to summarise that day, I would probably say it was quite frustrating, because the prices that I was bidding were not getting me the work. I was bidding at something like £1 a mile for most jobs. These are all small van, short wheelbase jobs. There was the odd long wheelbase job, and I put some quotes on about 125 for them, just to turn up to get to the point, but didn't get any of those either. So there was work. It wasn't prolific, but there was work. There was a couple of jobs out of Wrexham, and then a few jobs around Chelford and Runcorn, as I said, and then Stoke, Stafford as well. But by the time I sort of got a job and got offloaded, it was past 6 o'clock. Nearly 6 o'clock. So the frustration is knowing it's not that busy on the CX at the moment, I would say, bearing in mind it's the run up to Christmas. And pricing wise, I'm not getting my bids, winning bids. So it's quite difficult to know what to do for the best, really. Do I try and stay local, but there's not an awful lot of work around where I live? Do I do long distances and tramp out, which is, I don't really want to do tramping as much as I used to do. It's not so much because of the comfort levels, because I'm okay with that. It's more to do with being away from my partner for extended periods of time. I'd rather not do that for a variety of reasons right now. So I think that I'm going to have to decide either to reduce the prices so I win some more bids, or tramp out, or stay local. And I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't have regular work to rely on. I have to get work from the CX. So it has been for the last 2 or 3 weeks quite a grind, quite hard to earn a living, I would say. And it's only going to get worse, I think, after Christmas. So it's just so I need to probably think about what my realistic target can be. It's probably not going to be what I want it to be. And so because my target can't be as much as I want it to be, probably I have to stop going quite so far. Maybe just try and do smaller mileage jobs. So we'll see. It's hard to know for the best, to be honest. Okay, so I'll give you my stats, and I've got a couple of things that I'd like to talk to you about before I let you go. So for Monday the 4th of December, I only had 2 CX jobs. I worked for pretty much exactly 12 hours. It was 12 hours and 5 minutes. I got some fuel, as I said, so my new average fuel price per mile driven is now 16.1 pence per mile. I drove 335 miles, 335 miles, which meant that I spent £53 and 92 pence on fuel yesterday, on Monday. I earned £200 in total, that's £150 for the Peterborough to Wrexham job, and £50 from Telford to Stoke. And so after this fuel has been taken off, my earnings were £146, 146. So it's quite a lot lower than my target, and also lower than my kind of minimum target. It's about 200, I suppose, after fuel. I really want to try and make that each day. So not a good day in terms of earnings, but I hear this phrase a lot. It is what it is. I think it is. I can't see it getting busier between now and Christmas. So I'm going to have to adapt something about what I do in terms of this job, and I need to think about what works or what will work better. Anyway, so things we'll talk about. I spoke about my phone, my replacement phone. Got that on Saturday. I'm using this replacement phone, which is a cheap Motorola, to record this video. So I hope it's of an okay standard in terms of the sound quality. I am using a microphone, so hopefully it's worked okay. I wanted to reflect on, sometimes in this job we do reflect on the minutiae of the job, like the traffic or the weather or van problems or pricing. And yesterday morning, which was this first Monday morning, I got in the van at sort of just before 8:30, and I was really looking forward to going to work. Now, I've never had a job where on a Monday morning I've looked forward to going to work before. So I just wanted to reflect on, although there are niggles about this job, it's still a really good job to do. It's the best job I've ever done. I can't see myself ever wanting something else. But it's really good to have a job where you look forward to doing it in the morning. Right, so I think that'll be everything to update you on. I'm not working Friday this week. I've got to go to, I've got various things going on, which means I can't work. So I've got 4 days. I'm probably going to tramp out one of those nights, and then we'll see what the earnings are like for the week. But I'm not expecting it to be in great shape this week. So thank you very much for listening to my video. If you are one of the polite, professional, fair shippers or drivers working up there, I wish you every success, however you define that word success. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.